Hello everyone, welcome back to A Couple Books. This is Couple over here. I just wanted to do another book review for y'all, but before we get into that book review, I wanted to just make a little bit of an announcement. So, for those who don't know, we're doing a book giveaway right now. About 2 videos ago called Special Announcements and Book Review, where I review The Troop and The Invisible Library. I do a special announcement in the beginning of that video about a book giveaway we are doing to commemorate 50 subscribers that we passed. We're now at like 55, I think. But we passed that. I wanted to do a book giveaway, so we are closing that, the ability to enter into the raffle, I think tomorrow. So make sure you guys are in if you guys want to be in. It is not too late. I'll link this video down below so you guys can find it easily. So make sure you sign up for that. But with that out of the way, let's get into this book. The Whisper Man by Alex North. This is a horror / thriller novel, much more on the thriller side, but it basically it's following 2 timelines in this one. Both of these timelines are set in this town called Featherbank. Featherbank is like a small American town, except that this small American town has quite a history. 20 years ago, there was the Whisper Man, hence the name, and his real name was Frank Carter, and he went around and he murdered a whole bunch of boys. It was horrible. He killed like 5 boys, and after which a detective named Pete found out and arrested him and was able to basically convict him, and he is now spending his life in jail. And now it's 20 years later, and that's where we are in this story. We're in this town, Featherbank, 20 years after the serial killer has been caught, and we're following 2 characters. We have, on one hand, we have Pete and Amanda, who are the detectives working in the police station. They are following a storyline where a boy named Neil Spencer has been kidnapped, and they presume it was by a copycat of the Whisper Man, since the Whisper Man, Frank Carter, is still in prison. But the reason they think it's a copycat is because the boy's parents, Neil Spencer, the boy who was kidnapped, his parents talked about how the boy was complaining about someone whispering outside his window a few days before he was kidnapped. So the theory is that there's a copycat serial killer out there now, and he's repeating some of the things that the original Whisper Man did. And so Amanda and Pete are both on the case. Pete is the one who originally caught the original Whisper Man, so them working together trying to find this boy Neil Spencer before it's too late. So that's one story. The second story that's going on in Featherbank follows Frank and Tom Kennedy. Tom's Kennedy's wife and Jake Kennedy's mother passed away. She was ill and she died a little bit ago, and she was horrible, and both Tom and Jake just kind of want a fresh start. They want to get out of this house. They want to move to a new town and just basically like restart. So they both find a wonderful place in Featherbank, and they decide to move there. The only issue is that Jake himself starts hearing whispering outside his bedroom window. So that is basically where we're at. We got 2 stories going on simultaneously, both in present time, where we have Pete and Amanda trying to find the Whisper Man before it's too late for Neil Spencer, and Tom and Jake are in this new home in Featherbank, and they start having interactions with the Whisper Man. This book was really good. Was it anything like insane, like oh my gosh? Yes. I thought that I thought it was excellent. I was enthralled. I was interested. I didn't really know where the story was going. It was always kind of interesting. I wish that the author had left a few more clues at the end, because there were like 1 or 2 clues about who the Whisper Man was in the town, but it was hard to pick up until the very end when the police started cluing it together. But overall, I thought this was an excellent book. I really enjoyed it. It kind of gave me the creeps a few times. There are a few scenes in this book that definitely got to me and definitely scared me a little bit. So with that being said, if you are someone who is like turned off, I don't know if turned off is the right word, but if you're someone who's like really sensitive to like child endangerment and child horror, this might be a book for you to avoid, because like it scared me. Like I don't want to send my kids outside anymore, and I don't even have kids to send outside. So it was a fantastic read. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to have to give it 5 out of 5 stars. I thought that the characters were interesting. The story was extremely inviting to be a part of it. The prose was quite good. Overall, it was just quite an excellent read. I really enjoyed it, and it stayed with me, and it's still with me. I finished it a few days ago, and it's like still in my head, and I still think about it. Overall, very excellent read. I highly recommend picking up The Whisper Man by Alex North. I thought it was fantastic, and I really think that anyone out there who's into thrillers and maybe is just getting their start into horror would really like this book and would really find it enjoyable. So, with that being said, we're now going to go into a few more spoilery things. So you guys who are more sensitive to spoilers, you guys are welcome to leave until the end of the video where we'll all come back together. But these spoilers will not be like end of the book spoilers, but more just kind of thoughts I've had throughout reading the book that you guys might view as spoilers. So now that that's out of the way, let's throw on a spoiler warning right there, and we'll see you guys at the end for those who are not staying. But overall, this book was very interesting. I thought personally some of my speculations is that Jake is on the spectrum. You may ask, why do you think that? I think with how he interacts with his mother and those interactions he has with the supposed like imaginary friend were very interesting, and just kind of how he acted and those kinds of things kind of reminded me of someone who was maybe on the high functioning level of the spectrum. I'm no expert, but like I've handled and dealt with kids who have been on the spectrum, and I just thought it was kind of interesting. And if that is the case, mad props to Alex North, because I thought he did an excellent job representing that, and I thought it was really good. If the kid is not intentionally on the spectrum, then I'm wrong, but it's just I thought very interesting and super cool with how he interacted with like the boy on the floor and the mother. Which if you guys haven't read the book yet, you guys don't know what this means. So just wait till you guys get into the book and you guys will see. As well, I did the whole relationship between Pete and Tom was very interesting, and I loved kind of watching it happen. I did not see it coming until about like 3 chapters before it gets announced, which you guys will know what that is once you guys get there. But that was a very interesting thing to see. So now that's the end of spoilers. So, some other things before I let you guys go that I thought was super good that I just really want to bring up is I think this book is more than just a typical thriller and horror novel. I thought that he examines personal relationships very well. The whole single father and a son that he can't really understand relationship was very interesting. The father and son relationships in this book were very interesting, not just between Tom and Jake, but other characters, which as through the book you see other father and son relationships start to develop, or you start to be introduced to father and son relationships, and like it's kind of interesting. It was kind of like a case study on like father-son relationships and how like a good one versus a bad one and how they can impact people. So overall, I thought this was a very excellent book that had many more undertones going on than just the typical thriller book. You know, how to handle grief, how to deal with single fatherhood. Lots of very interesting things going on in this book. So overall, once again, a very fantastic read. I hope you guys pick it up. It was quite fun to read, and I hope you guys will enjoy picking it up as well. So that is all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.